Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Miasin and welcome to my Phantom Knight updated combo video and deck profile. So not only post the July ban list, but also with the new TCG exclusive, well actually not TCG exclusive, OCG import, we finally have access to UTOPIC Future Dragon, which is a really good card. You can now turn multiple copies of Levier into a negate, and Levier gets you back all of your resources. So this is quite reminiscent to playing a deck like Orchest full power, basically. You make a lot of negates, and then all of the materials that you have to banish in order to make that combo, you get them back in the graveyard. So next turn when your opponent passes, you just kill him, which is really Happy Land City. And I'm going to not only show you guys two combos in this video, but also the updated deck profile. So before you start, friendly reminder to like and subscribe. Please, let's try to aim 1,000 likes. Would really motivate me a lot, because if I can't get a lot of likes, it's going to be hard for me to always provide both the combo and the deck profile. So I am doing a sacrifice for you guys, but it is definitely worth it. Anyways, let's get into combo number one. Assuming that you just have Tour Guide with like any level 3 extender, could even be Ragged Gloves. Even this is considered an extender. Well, it's going to be like the extender discard in a way. You can do 6 interruptions. 6. That's a pretty big number. So yeah, you're gonna make Cherubini and then summon the Seer with the Graph. Your Seer is going to revive back the Cherubini. Now this is not a part of any potential interruption. So even if the Seer gets negated by Ghost Bell or something, changes nothing. You don't care because the Cherubini is just not part of the combo. Well, I mean, at this point, when you revive it back. Now the Rusty is going to specifically Foolish for Torn Scales, and you had to send the Ancient Cloak with the Cherubini. Now you are going to banish the Ancient Cloak. Make sure that you do it after you send the Torn Scales, otherwise this is just not going to trigger. Alright, so now you're going to get Silent Boots to your hand, and this is going to revive back Torn Scales since a Phantom Knight card was banished. Now, you're going to discard the Ragged Gloves in order to send a Phantom Knight Trap Card Sword. Interesting. Yeah. If you drew like any level 3 extender, you would summon it, and then you would discard like an actual just legit discard. But Ragged Gloves, Fogblade, and Swords are great cards that don't necessarily need to make you rely on another discard, basically. They can be the discard extender, just like I said. Anyways, now you summon Silent Boots, summon Levier, I was gonna say Levinier, and then, yeah, revive back the Ancient Cloak, search for the rank up magic, and then banish the sword, make another Levier again, man, oh my god. And then, yeah, revive back Silent Boots again, make Utopic Future, and then Utopic Future Dragon. This is one of the best interruptions in the entire game. When your opponent activates a monster effect, detach one material, negate the activation, and then take control of the monster permanently. That's pretty terrifying. It's much better than like Merkaba Negate that like negates and banishes. This is negate and steal permanent, and it also cannot be targeted or destroyed by card. No, cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effect. So yeah, how are you dealing with this? You know, actually they can target, but don't put this in column number 2 or 4 because otherwise they can relinquish Tanima. So yeah, glad I did that so you can actually you know, otherwise you would have to waste your negate on this. But now you have to make Break Sword with the 2 level 3 monsters to a zone that that is pointed to by Rusty, and the reason for that is because you want to be able to pop it with the Rusty in order to use the effect of Great Sword, revive back the 2 monsters as level 4, and then make Dark Rebellion, set one back row. And I don't know if you can see it, but this is already 6 interruptions. So during our opponent's main phase, we can use the Phantom Magic rank up Magic Force, banish 1 Dark from the graveyard, it doesn't really matter which one, and then transform the Dark Rebellion into Dark Requiem. And we're going to be able to pop a card with the effect of Rusty, since a Dark monster was summoned to well, Dark Xyz, I guess, was summoned to a zone it points to. So this is the first interruption, the pop. And then we have 3 interruptions in the form of Dark Requiem in the gate, and then another interruptions in the form of Utopic Future Dragon. So this is 5, and finally we have Fogblade, 6 interruptions. Now the issue is that you only really have monster negates. So if you're playing against a deck like Sky Striker that has Dark Ruler No More, for example, you're going to be kind of in a bit of a pickle, even though you can hold the Phantom Magic quick effect for as long as possible. So Dark Ruler doesn't necessarily deal with you that hard. But still, just to be careful, maybe end your turn on a Dragoon if you really want to. It's just that it makes you rely on having more bricks, which is what I personally don't like. It's just, if you want to end on Dragoon, all you would need is this exact 2-card combo that I said, with any extender. Then you just need Cherubini and the extra extender for materials. You make Dragoon, and then you send the cards, the bricks, from your deck to the grave, make Dragoon, and then you have a Spell Trap Negate or whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get into the next one. Alright. Alright, so for combo number 2, this one is interesting, assuming that you have the same thing but with 2 extra extenders without trying to make Dragoon, so this is going to be as brickless as it gets. We can actually make an Appaloosa relatively early. So now we're going to make Cherubini, summon the Seer from the deck. We're going to use the effect of Cherubini to send the Ancient Cloak. This is the most competitive combo in the entire deck because the Appaloosa is made before you're trying to make the Rusty. So there's pretty much almost no choke point to this combo. If you get Nibiru'd way too early, you're not affected negatively because you still have all the graveyard resources and you still have all the extenders in your hand. So it really doesn't change that much. Alright, now we got to the point where it's game over for our opponent. So we can revive back the Cherubini with the effect of Seer and then use our extender. It doesn't have to be Tsuchinoko, it can literally be anything at all. So now we can make the Rusty Bardiche, and this is combo number 1, but after making an Appaloosa, but we're literally at the exact same same position. It's just that we no longer have like a useless Cherubini sitting there on the field and doing nothing. So yeah, there's another way of doing this where you make the Rusty in the extra monster zone and then the Appaloosa in the main monster zone. I just don't think it makes sense. You really want to make the Appaloosa as early as possible. So this, like I said, and like I keep saying, this is the most reasonable and logical way to combo off competitively. But yeah, again, Break Sword, pop, and then revive back 2 monsters, Dark Rebellion, set 1 pass, Merry Christmas. How many interruptions is that? 9 interruptions. If you had more extenders, you'd potentially be able to make the Dragoon with another negate. It's just that, again, how desperate are you just to have a Dragoon on the field? Yeah, so that's the reason why maybe Phantom Knight might not be the most appealing deck to some people, just because it has issues making spell and trap negates, but I definitely don't think it's that big of a deal. Anyways, let's get into the deck profile now. Alright, this is it, the deck profile for the Phantom Knight deck. So I'm gonna go through it pretty fast because the majority of the cards people already know about them. So 1 Seer, 1 Libic, 2 Graph. The reason why you're not playing 2 Seers is because the effect of Seer honestly isn't even that relevant. Graph is the most relevant one, so Libic just assures that you never really have bricks, because if you did draw the Burning Abyss monsters, well, you can just send the Libic, and then, yeah, just summon the monster from the hand, and then link, and then trigger their effects because they won't really die. Or if you draw Libic while you make Cherubini, it's just another extender, so it's not even a bad thing at all. Libic is pretty much always good, I want to say. 3 Torguide, because it's the best normal summon. Even if you draw Torguide and Torn Scales, it's actually not a bad thing at all, by the way. You can just discard this with something, and you'll be fine. Or you can normal summon Torn Scales and then send something, and then keep Torguide as like a backup in your hand. But yeah, 1 Tsuchinoko, 1 Jackalope, 1 Ragged Gloves, 2 Ancient Cloak, 3 Torn Scales because it's a great card, 2 Silent Boots with 2 Kagemusha Knight, 1 Psychic Tracker with 1 Psychic Welder because I am playing Emergency Teleport, and then 3 Ash, 3 DD Crew, and 3 Veiler. So 9 hand traps for this deck, 2 Tactic Talents so I can play through hand traps with Called by the Grave, Rhoda, Foolish Burial, obviously, I mean it's a graveyard based deck. Actually, I want to say Foolish Burial is not necessarily needed because of the effects that you're going through, you're really just, you're using all of them in the combo anyways. So Foolish is more of an extender if you get hand trapped than an extender if you don't get a hand trapped. Yeah, I know it might almost not make sense, but it kind of makes sense. Anyways, the rank up magic for Phantom Knight, and then 2 Fogblade with 1 sword. I think 3 Fogblade is way too much. Don't play 3 Fogblade. It really becomes bricky very fast. So 2 Fogblade, I want to say, with the sword is a bit better, so you have an extender as well when you discard it. Anyways, for the extra deck, the Ultimate Falcon obviously doesn't have to be an Ultimate Falcon. It's just that if you get like Regeki or something, the rank up magic can be used to transform your Dark Rebellion into an Ultimate Falcon. And then Targ Requiem with Dark Rebellion, obviously. Evil Swarm Nightmare, again, doesn't have to be that, but if you want to, well, you can play it. 2 Breaks, or just so you have a more aggressive follow-up. Triple Levier, so you always have your resources back. But 2 should kind of be enough, in a way. You don't necessarily have to play 3, but you do have to play 2 if you want to make the UTOPIC Future Dragon combo. And then, obviously, speaking of the devil, well, speaking of the dragon, actually, they're both warriors, LMAO. And then Appaloosa, Rusty Bardiche, and Cherubini doesn't have to be a 2 of. I just want to have a good follow-up in case I get a hand trapped. And now for the idea section, Zeus, yeah, well, Farfan Zeus should probably be in the main deck. So you decide what you want to cut. There are a lot of cards that you can cut, like the third Levier. This could be here, for example. And then Kali Yuga, if you want to play the other rank up magic, which I don't recommend. Odd Eyes, Rebellion Dragon Overlord. I don't think this card is good enough. Beatrice is interesting if you want to play Dante. You don't have to though. And then Arc Rebellion is good with Raider's Knight, so you can just... It's kind of like a Utopia double in a way, where it has a ridiculous amount of attack, but you can only really attack once. And yeah, it's a one-punch man OTK. And finally, Unicorn, Cerberus, potentially Phoenix, and Shade Brigandine should actually be in the main deck as well. So probably cut, I don't know, let's just say a Veiler or Foolish. There. The deck is now better. Hey. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my beautiful Phantom Knight updated combo video and deck profile. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to this video. It really motivates me so much to keep making videos like these, and I will see you next time. Peace.